goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
It's time for the Soul of Excellence.
He is a radio host at 77 WABC here in New York.
The Rush Hour is on the air.
Rush.
Now, here's Bo Snerdley on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Yeah.
My fellow New Yorkers, it is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes.
Oh, yeah,
If
baby.
so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies. But they would not be surprising. I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target. And a target I became. For months, leaks and rumors have been aimed at me in an attempt to undermine my credibility and paint me as guilty. Just this past week, they searched the home of our new police commissioner, looking for documents from 20 years ago.
Today.
Just 1 week after he joined my administration. Enough. I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit. If I'm charged, I know I am innocent. I will request an immediate trial so the New Yorkers can hear the truth. New Yorkers know my story. They know where I come from. I have been fighting injustice my entire life. That fight has continued as your mayor. Despite our pleas, when the federal government did nothing as its broken immigration policies overloaded our shelter system with no relief, I put the people of New York before party and politics. Now, if I am charged, many may say I should resign because I cannot manage the city while fighting the case. I can also understand how everyday New Yorkers will be concerned that I cannot do my job while I face accusations.
But are you going to do it?
Facing these lies for months.
Are you going to do it?
To speak out for all of you, and their investigation started. Yet the city has continued to improve. Make no mistake, you elected me to lead this city, and lead it I will. I humbly ask for your prayers and your patience as we see this through. God bless you, and God bless the city of New York. Thank you.
How about the United States of America and the federal government? How about God bless Joe Biden and the DOJ? How about the FBI? How about the Southern District of New York attorneys? How about God bless Curtis Sliwa? How about that? What happened?
I will tell you.
Tell me Curtis Sliwa.
Don't you remember when you mentioned God? God in film was Morgan Freeman. Remember? He played God. And Morgan Freeman did those commercials, really brilliantly done, for Turkish Airlines for years. Remember? I mean, that's when Turkish Airlines was expanding around the globe.
Yeah.
And this is the airline that Eric Adams was getting all these rides on to anchor, and then from there he would switch off to his intended destination, whether it was France, Hungary, Red China, Israel, to pick up the loot, Uzbekistan. He couldn't even find it on the map. Azerbaijan, wherever there was the loot, he was there. It was like Biggie, show me the loot. Show me the loot on Turkish Airlines.
They went back to his time as borough president. Curtis, but will you at least, and I don't mean this at least because you've been on top of this from the beginning. His trouble started. I'm not weighing in on the case. I'm not weighing in on the indictment. I'm weighing in on the politics. His trouble started the day he started complaining about illegal immigration in New York. When he stepped off the Democrat plant, the day that he decided, I'm going up and say the federal government is doing this, it's unmanageable, we need money, this is not fair to New Yorkers. So, they ignored him. Kamala Harris, border czar, ignored him. Biggie Joe, the big guy, ignored him. Oh, go away. He kept complaining. Finally, he got a meeting in the big house. They let him in the big house. They let him off the fields of New York. They pulled him away from plucking the cotton and let him come in the White House. They probably told him he had to take off his shoes. I don't know. He gets to the White House. They make him wait. He's sitting in one of the anterooms. Then he gets the call. Your pals are being raided. He has to skip the meeting. He gets back to New York. Shortly thereafter, we learn that his security force was told to stand down. We're going to strip him of all of his electronic devices. You got any iPads there? You got any iPhones? We're taking them. And hence the trouble began. Now, you, Curtis, I don't know anybody that knows what is going on in New York like you do. You are singular. You find your way into places nobody else does. These charges against him, dating back to the time when he was borough president, supposedly they say he's been using straw donors to fund his campaign. They tie this connection into Turkey, collusion with Turkey. You read the indictment. Are these charges something that will be, are they questionable, or is there meat on the bones?
First, I must correct you. You said Eric Adams was allowed into the White House, not the outhouse, and he would be asked possibly to take his shoes off. He ain't taking those Bruno Maglia shoes off. Nobody. OJ didn't, and he sure wasn't. That's what he's got. He wears Bruno Maglia. I mean, this guy, $5,000 customized suits, and believe it or not, his tailor, the guy who designs them, is a Turkish guy on Madison Avenue.
What?
Yeah, everything is Turkish with him. I never knew somebody who loved Turkey so much. Not even Turkish Americans want to go back to Turkey as many times as he went there. But, to your point, remember, he even said he was the Biden of Brooklyn. He not only pledged allegiance to Team Biden and Team Harris, he said, I'm the Biden of Brooklyn. They invited him to the White House right after he won the Democratic nomination. He represented New York City in a law enforcement conference where Joe Biden said, yeah, he's the next mayor. You forget that guy with the red beret. He's a person of no consequence. And then it all started falling down when he defied Team Biden and Team Harris. And he was persona non grata on the outside looking in. And let's face it, he had a lot of baggage. He wasn't a difficult target to bag and tag for the U.S. Attorney of the Southern District, Damian Williams. Not difficult at all.
Now, do you think that these charges are going to be problematic for him?
Well, you see, what he's doing is he's running the clock. Both Damian Williams, who's a very good U.S. attorney. He comes from the mold of Rudy Giuliani. I mean, he wants notches on his belt. He just got P. Diddy. He got FTX boy. He got Bobby Menendez with the gold bars and the cash in his customized jackets. This guy's on a roll. But remember, on January 20th, President Donald Trump gets sworn into office. Every U.S. attorney throughout the country must turn in their papers.
Their resignation letters.
And you know Trump ain't putting him back on the docket, that's for sure. Trump is saying, this guy will come after me and my administration. So he knows he's only got about 4 months. He'll come in now with superseding indictments. But this is all about Turkey, and I know where they got this information. Everyone overlooked the fact that the only person that Eric Adams ever fired during all of this was his aide-de-camp to Turkey, Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, a woman named Rana Abbasova. They fired her because she was telling everybody, get rid of your texts, get rid of your texts. She went to Fort Lee, New Jersey. She was driving an Uber because she had no income. And you know, the feds came and said, hey, how would you like a little place in Laramie, Wyoming, serving Slurpees and nachos at a 7-Eleven with a different name and identification in the Witness Protection Program, Raina?
Would you like to go to Tulsa?
No, Laramie, Wyoming.
Laramie.
She'd be with the Cheneys, you know. She'd be serving them Slurpees and nachos. Extra cheese, please.
Curtis, Mayor Adams held a presser today, and shockingly, he surrounded himself, by the way, a lot of, how shall we say, what's the term that the left, oh yes, people of color. So there were a lot of people of color in back of him, but there were also some protesters of color in the crowd. And this is what it sounded like. Whoa.
Now,
this is not a black thing. This is a you thing.
Yeah, but you know who this is. This Hawk Newsom. You remember in the summer of 2020, he threatened to burn this city down, head of Black Lives Matter. He wants Jumaane Williams as mayor. That's the guy who would replace Eric Adams should he resign or should, I don't think she'll do it, the governor fire him. She has the power to do that.
I dare her. I dare her. I dare Kathy Hochul to fire this guy. After she wouldn't lift a finger to deal with Alvin Bragg, I dare her to fire the second black mayor of the city of New York. I dare her.
Do you forget that his complexion is his protection with Kathy Hochul? She ain't firing no black man.
That's why I dare her.
She didn't even talk about firing Alvin Bragg because his complexion was his protection. She ain't going nowhere near Eric Adams and all of his supporters there who are black elders in the community, church people. He'll be in church every day. Every black church, you're going to see him talk about, God told me 30 years ago that I would be the mayor. And you know how your peeps love that stuff, man.
Hey, what's this, your peeps?
What is the refuge for every rogue? A black church on Sunday, right? You had Bill Clinton. I did not have sex with that woman. He only went to black churches. Then you had Bobby Menendez. He discovered black churches. You have Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo. He goes to a black church every Sunday. And now you have Eric Adams doing. What is it about your people? You forgive everything. As long as they show up in church and cite biblical passage, all of a sudden, you're forgiven. We forgive you. We forget.
Kamala Harris tried to cite biblical passage last night, only she messed up the name of the book in the Bible. But that's another story.
Yeah, exactly. But you do understand, he's done this before. He's played the race card. He's banking on the fact that his complexion is his protection, and he ain't going nowhere. He's telling you, I don't care. I'm not going nowhere. In fact, he said yesterday, I'm going to be sworn into office, same time, same place, in my reelection. The guy is probably doing shrooms and a little bit of LSD on the side.
Come on, Curtis. Let's not complicate matters with that.
Well, look, doesn't Aaron Rodgers of the New York Jets, right, who's on a winning spree, doesn't he use LSD and promote its effects? I have no idea
what he does. I don't want to know.
Oh, he does. He loves it.
I can't go there. Okay, what I want to know is this. What does this mean for Curtis Lewa's chances for... are you thinking about it, Curtis?
It's not even a question of thinking. Everybody's saying, run, Curtis, run, because they know that basically he bamboozled everybody when he ran against me. All that Turkish money was used against guess who? Me. So this is it's time to make amends. It's time for, as James Brown said, revenge. And definitely I'm coming at whoever they put into the ring, whether it's a special election, whether it's the regular election. I'm entitled to be able to, this time, have an opportunity to save this city because it's corruption central. One thing people know about me, they may not like me. They may not like my style. They may not like my red beret, but nobody has ever accused me of being a dishonest person. And I will, as you know, go after Democrats and Republicans who love to put their beak in the trough and get wine-dined and pocket-lined.
And I'll tell you something else nobody can deny. Nobody can deny that for your entire adult life, you have risked that life and come close to losing it, trying to protect the people of this city. There are not many people. A lot of people can talk. You actually go out in places at times where nobody else will go. You have put together an organization that worldwide tries to help people, where police are very often, and this is not a knock on the police, because God knows they have a difficult job, but they cannot be everywhere. And you have put your life on the line to try to help the people of New York have a better quality of life. And this isn't something that you just came up with. This is something that you have devoted your life to, and nobody can take that away from you, Mr. Sliwa.
Well, let me tell you, for those kind words of yours, I'm going to have you sitting in front of my inauguration as we play every jam that Sly and the Family Stone ever did from beginning to end. No Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Curtis Sliwa. Oh, Curtis, you're going to have to keep us updated as this thing moves and progresses along. Thank you so much, Curtis, for joining us.
I'm running. I'm going to save this city, Bo.
All right. 2003, Robert Palmer, English singer-songwriter, passed away. Sad, sad day. Heart attack. This guy is just such a brilliant, is a musician, singer, songwriter, video. The video, Simply Irresistible, is one of the first iconic videos that just went all around the world. Robert Palmer on Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour here on 77 WABC 800-848-9222. Kamala Harris did an interview last night. Huh. Yeah, we'll deal with that when we get back. Keep it right here.
Hour is on the air. Attention Ditto Heads. Attention Bo Scouts.
Rush
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
You know, Diego's the guy that started the Friday Love Stories with us. And we are going to have another installment tomorrow, by the way. And then one of these days soon, Mr. Mike is going to join us. But he has another girlfriend, too. Well, she's only a musical girlfriend. And she's not, well, she's in heaven. Olivia Newton-John, born this day. The Brit, Aussie singer, actress, and, yes, activist. Scored a 1978 hit with John Travolta, You're the One That I Want. This one was one of her biggest hits. 4-time Grammy Award singer. 5 number 1 hits. Passed away, sadly, August 2022. James Golden with you. It's time. All right, Diego, let's play a game. You pick the order. No setup. She did an interview. Let's listen in. Diego's going to pick which cuts we use, and I'll just respond from there. Fire at will.
Madam Vice President, you just laid out your economic vision for the future. Yeah. But still, there are lots of Americans who don't see themselves in your plans. For those who say these policies aren't for me, what do you say to them?
Well, if you are hardworking, if you have the dreams and the ambitions and the aspirations of
That's
whatever
your plan?
you do,
what?
You're in my plan. You know, I have to tell you,
what plan?
I really love
She's
and
vamping.
so energized.
She's trying to figure it out.
What I know to be the spirit and character of the American people. We have
Let's
ambition.
go to spirit and character. Yeah. Ambition. I use that one.
We have dreams. We can see what's possible. We have an incredible work ethic. But not everyone has the access to the opportunities that allow them to achieve those things. But we don't lack for those things. But not everyone, gets handed stuff on a silver platter. And so my vision for the economy, I call it an opportunity economy, is about making sure that all Americans, wherever they start, wherever they are, have the ability to actually achieve those dreams and those ambitions, which include for middle-class families, being able to know that their hard work allows them
green lawns
to get ahead, right? I think we can't, and we shouldn't aspire to have an economy that just allows people to get by. People want to do more than just get by. They want to get ahead. And I come from the middle class.
Okay, that was her answer. Just quick, turn on your mic, quick question. What does she say about, what is her plan?
I did not get a single thing about her plan.
Okay, what's her plan? You. Yes, you. Glasses. You. Yes. What's your plan? Couldn't tell me. Okay, screener. What's your plan?
No clue.
Joan, come on, Joan. You must have picked up something from that. Ambition, opportunity, middle class. Something.
I got what we already know. Of course we want to get ahead, but she didn't say how she'll make that happen.
Oh, okay then. Next one, whatever you pick, Diego.
The first one, just a fact check. Because your opponent almost every day.
Okay, there's no such thing as a little job.
Okay, fair. Because your opponent almost every day seems to be talking about this. So I just want to ask you yes or no. At any point in your life, have you served 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, and a sesame seed bun, working at a McDonald's? Yes or no? That's it.
I have.
Okay. Now the other job.
But it was not a small job. Like, I did the fries. I mean, yes, but I did.
How come there are no records of it anywhere? I'm just axing. Next one.
Work, and one could watch that and say, well, she didn't give a clear, direct answer. That's okay, because we are not talking about clear or direct issues.
Now that is classic. Here you have the interviewer after the interview. Well, of course she didn't give clear and direct answers because I didn't ask clear and direct questions. We're not talking about clear and direct things. What's your economic plan? That's not a clear and direct thing. What is it that you want to do for the American people? That's not a clear and direct answer. Let's give her cover. People are complaining. She didn't give direct answers. Well, we were talking about direct issues. These people will say anything to cover what we all hear. Okay, last one before we go to the break. We'll continue, whatever it is.
Some of the work is going to be through what we do in terms of giving benefits and assistance to state and local governments around transit dollars and looking holistically at the connection between that and housing.
Holistically?
And looking holistically at the incentives we in the federal government create for local and state governments to actually engage in planning in a holistic manner that includes prioritizing affordable housing for working people.
What in the... What? It's holistic. So who can say anything about it? It's holistic. Diego, explain.
On this day, in 1987, the Whitney Houston started a 2-week run at #1 on the U.S. singles charts. With this one, Didn't We Almost Have It All, on this day in 1987. Back to you, Bo.
Whitney Houston, as we check in with Traffic and Kim Commando. And we holistically move to a holistic break, hoping that holistically you'll listen to every word that's said and holistically stay with us so that we can holistically discuss the holistic issues of the day. Here on Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, holistically yours on WABC.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with Bo Snerdley.
Rush.
1987, MJ starts a 6-week run at #1. He releases the album, well, Columbia released it. Sony released it. Bad, okay? It came 5 years after Thriller, believe it or not. This album actually topped the sales of Thriller. Somewhere between 30 and 45 million records were sold worldwide. First album to hit that mark. Probably still holds the record. 77 WABC is proud to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Day, sponsored, of course, by Goya, and we thank them so much. And in honor of that, I have an extreme honor of welcoming a guest that you know, Tony Orlando. Tony, thank you so much for taking some time to join us.
What a wonderful introduction. Thank you for Goya. Thank you para todos mis amigos ahí en Nueva York, con todo mi corazón. Happy day to all of you, and I'm proud to be part of your family, really. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you. You are nothing short of amazing. We all know about your commercial success, songs that we love, songs that have become part of our lives. Going into your background is a thrill. You started at age 15. You were with a doo-wop group, 1959, 15 years old. Right. We know some of the names along your pathway to success. Don Kirshner hired you to write songs. You were in the same building. Carole King, Neil Sedaka, Barry Mann, Bobby Darin, Connie Francis, on and on and on. Okay? But then you go into, and a lot of people don't understand how important this is to the music industry. Before you became an internationally known brand name, you had already success in music publishing that few people can hope to aspire. Not only, did you work for CBS Music with that, producing Manilow? You worked with James Taylor, Grateful Dead, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Manilow. And the underknown, who deserves to be known worldwide, Laura Nyro, who I just love. Right? But you had a career that was just amazing even before you became Tony Orlando to all of us. Talk about your life.
It's crazy. When I hear it back like that, I thank the good Lord for this blessing that I've been in this industry for, I just retired after 64 years in the show, 64 since the first hit record I had with Carole King, which was 1961. By the way, that was it broke right there on WABC with Cousin Brucey.
With Cousin Brucey.
How crazy that is that I'm now at the same station with the first guy who ever played my record when I was 16, and the first guy who ever brought me on a stage for a live show was Cousin Brucey, and he's the very person that brings me to the stage for my retirement show at Mohegan Sun 60-plus years later. You couldn't write it better than that, but I thank you for the acknowledgement. When it comes back at me like that, I shake my head and I say, I don't know how that happened. I really don't. I had an 8th grade education. How do I end up as a vice president of CBS Music with all these great names that you just mentioned? It's been a dream come true and a journey that even myself, in retrospective, I go, what the heck? Thank you, God.
Now, you have also done some amazing things, and I have a little time with you. I want to spend more time with you on the podcast so we can go through all these things, because this is just, you have the most incredible career. But one of the things that I just love about you, beyond the music, what you have done to support America's military, what you have done to support people that need help in terms of whatever it is, whether it's muscular dystrophy, whatever it is. Talk to us about that part of your life outside of the music.
Well, that's everything to me, James. Honestly, that to me is what you do with the blessings of fame, or whatever you want to call it, success, is to give back. And I've had the opportunity to host the New York Telethon for Jerry and his kids for muscular dystrophy for 33 years. That alone was an amazing thing for me to be harder to see lives change and families' lives improve because of Jerry's commitment to muscular dystrophy. And I was just a little spoke in the wheel. You know, I had Sammy Davis there, and you had Ed McMahon through those years. It was an amazing time with Jerry Lewis. And I want everybody to know out there, in memory of Jerry, and this is the truth, a lot of people sometimes didn't realize what he did. You know, if it wasn't for Jerry, there'd be no DNA science today. So people say, well, how did that be? Well, basically, the money that came in for muscular dystrophy during those telethons supported the science of trying to figure out what caused muscular dystrophy, which, of course, went into the world of DNA. Well, we know what DNA means today, and Jerry has been an important part of the leadership in making that science happen because of those telethons. So a lot of people say, well, there was no cure, but, you know, it still continues on. They're still fighting for a cure. And at the same time, without DNA science, where would we be today? So that part of my life I treasure. And then, of course, in 1973, with Bob Hope, I got to meet the POWs when they came home from Vietnam. They were only home 2 weeks. Their eyes hadn't even adjusted to daylight yet. And there I was singing this song, Yellow Ribbon, that I had no idea whether it was going to be a hit or not. It was early in the stages when that record was released. Well, of course, you know and I know it became a pretty strong anthem for welcoming home our military. And on that day, I promised those guys, who I've reunion with, by the way, every year for 54 straight years, I've been with them. And I was just with them in Palm Springs, as a matter of fact, 51 years, I'm sorry. And we've spent every year together. It changed my life. And I said, you know, if I am granted some success, I'm going to deliver whatever I can for veterans. And so all these years since Yellow Ribbon, I've been able to raise, they tell me, somewhere between $100 and $170 million since 1973, because for 25 straight years, I did free shows on behalf of veterans here in Branson, Missouri. And it was a fundraiser for 140 shows in this little town of Branson, Missouri, that's raised millions and millions of dollars on behalf of our military. So, you know, I've been blessed with success, but I'm proud that I've been able to utilize it for the betterment of others.
I want to just ask you one other question in the time that we have left. You were born in Chelsea, in New York. Mm-hmm. Okay. You come from what today we call mixed heritage. Father's Greek, Puerto Rican mom. Okay. Right. You and I see every day people we read about people that have a mentality that they can't get anywhere because of whatever circumstance they were born into, whether it's skin color, whether it's ethnicity, whether it's something else. What do you say to encourage young people to believe in themselves? Obviously, Tony, you must have never, I hope, or maybe I'm wrong, had a problem in believing in who you were.
Well, first of all, once you believe that you're in the greatest planet that allows you to be, that's the first torch to life. Once you believe that you're in America, where you can become president, no matter what your skin color is, and we've already proven that, you can become an 8th grader that never saw high school and end up being vice president of CBS Music, or selling 75 million records, or having your own network television show. Yeah, it starts with the belief in the country that we live in. We live in the greatest country on the planet. And in this country, the key to success is allowing all people of all races and color and creed and religions and backgrounds to become whoever they dream to be. This is a dream country. This is a country that dreams are the motor, the spark plug that makes us great. And once our young people are taught that, you know, I'm right now with a foundation called Tribute to Valor, And it's a military foundation. It was founded by Gary Latrell, a Medal of Honor recipient. We go to young people's schools and we teach them the 6 core values that the Medal of Honor recipients live by. Those 6 core values we've taken now to 75,000 children, young people, not children, but even high school people and young college students. And then we fly them on C-130s down to NASA for 3 days where they may be inspired to, become space-oriented, aeronautics and space travel and Space Force. And we've done that now to almost 80,000 young people, tribute to valor. And when I see these young people and they come out of the poorest towns in the country, their lives change. They go, oh my God, I'm here at NASA. I could see that rocket. I could be part of this. And they do become part of this. And so my advice to everybody out there is to do the following, 1 to 3 things. 1, young people, know that you're in America. You can be anybody you want to be. Just live your dream. But it's got to be hard work. You just can't be a dreamer. You're going to be a worker. And to me, that's the key. And the second thing is make sure you eat Goya rice pudding.
I love it. Tony, what an honor. I hope to be able to chat with you again and just have a longer talk about your beautiful journey. Thank you. You are a blessing, Tony Orlando.
Thank you for making me part of this today. God bless you all.
God bless you. James Golden Vacation, we're coming back. Your calls are coming up. Oh, man. The Beatles released Abbey Road. This would be their last studio album together. And they knew it at the time, by the way. They had a feeling. Out of that one came this one, Something. And also, Here Comes the Sun. James Golden, Snerdley, your calls coming up. Don't go away.
Rush. It's the Rush Hour with Bo Snerdley on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I knew it was either going to be Tyron Porter from the Doobie Brothers, who had a birthday today back in 1948, or Craig Chaquiccio of Jefferson Starship. Birthday today. Jefferson, because one of Diego's favorite groups. And one of my favorite groups, too, actually. But I have so many favorites. I mean, how can you not? Okay, how can you not? All right, it's time, and we're going to deal with the rest of the Kamala soundbites tomorrow.
Snerdley presents Rapid Phones.
Let's check in with Jacqueline in Brooklyn with, I think, an important question about the indictment. Hi, Jacqueline.
Yes, good afternoon, James, and I am very much looking forward to your answer and to your opinion. Ever since these investigations began into the Adams administration, I have always felt in my gut that Andrew Cuomo was behind it because he was in very good with Joe Biden and the administration, and I feel that they are clearing the way for him and making a clear path and a road for him to now step into the shoes and become the next mayor of the city of New York. And I'd like to know your opinion.
Well, I think it's an interesting theory. I disagree with the theory, and I'll tell you why. They hate him, too. They are the ones that are responsible for Andrew's problems in a way. They saw him as a big threat to Biden, and they wanted the Democrats, the establishment Democrats, wanted to take old Andy off the map, and they did it. He's trying to make a comeback, of course, but, and here's the other thing, what did it for Adams, and don't mistake this not 1 minute, the minute Adams running the biggest city in America, the most recognizable city in the world, once he got off the plant, and he got off the immigration sing-song of the Democrats, the target was put on his back. He knows it. He said it at the press conference. He was correct. And it was not a coincidence that the day they finally let him in the big White House on Whitelandia, D.C., the day they let him in was the day that they started the raids. He couldn't even get a chance to see Big Joe or Mama Kamala. They took his butt out on that day to send a message. And message delivered. Thank you. Appreciate the call. Let's go to Joaquin in Pennsylvania. How are you?
Hey, Bo Snerdley, listen, in the American Democrat Party, you can be as corrupt as you want as long as you play the game.
Boom. Boom, boom, boom. As long as you play the game. And Adam stopped playing the game. Look, they can take anybody down. You don't believe me? If they don't have something on you, they'll manufacture something on you. Hint, Russian collusion. They will take you down. When Donald Trump says, if it can happen to me, it can happen to any one of you. This is not hyperbole, folks. This is real. This is the state of America under Democrats. You step out of line, they will take you down if they perceive you as a big threat. Let's go to Michael in Brooklyn.
How you doing, Bo? I think a great move would be if Trump flies to New York and stands right by Eric Adams, talk about the corruption and injustice of the Democratic Party and the DOJ, form an alliance, try to get some more votes, and maybe he could win the city back.
You have a great idea, my friend. Oh, yeah, we got another birthday today. Sean Stockman, Boys to Men. 1992. This one stayed at number one for 13 weeks. We got to go. May God bless and protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude, my friends, for your being here with me and allowing me to be with you. God willing, back tomorrow for Friday Love Stories in the Friday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Until then, I bid you adieu.